Hello, everybody. Excuse the weird voice. This is the final part of my decoupage series for these lovely light bottles. I've got a light in this one at the moment, which I didn't have before, so you can actually see how it looks with the light off. You can see the stag shows up pretty well. He's looking quite good, although I did manage to paper over a bit of his bum, so that's not overly helpful. But the kind of the fawn you've got on the other side is not very visible. So that's the bit that's going to need to be darkened up the most, and I'll also need to touch up this bit so his bum isn't missing. So that is what we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing, with some watercolours that I've got here. Winsor & Newton palette thing, and oh my god, stuff is falling on the floor. There we go. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? So yeah, Winsor & Newton watercolour palette I'll be using here, and I've also got some brushes which hold water in them. And I'm going to turn the light back on because it's easier for me to see, and for you as well, I should think. Right. So, and the first other thing I'm going to do is, you're not going to be able to see my face and my lovely hat, but you'll get a better view of what I am doing down here, which is what you're here for. So, yeah, I think that's probably what you'd prefer. So I'm going to, I'm going to put that down for the minute. There we go. Much easier when you've got two hands to get stuff sorted. And thankfully the paints are all there in their little holders, because a lot of the time they stick to the top of the lid, which is quite annoying because then you have to push them all back in again, and annoyances. But right, I think the first thing I shall do, because it should be reasonably easy to do, is I'm going to sort out his bum and hope that I do a reasonably good job of just like doing a little bit of a patch up, basically. Well, it's now very lightly tinted yellow ochre. Ah, there you go, now you can see it. Which I appreciate is not really, for the most part, the colour that is actually on this stag, but it's the light colour, so I'm starting with it. Because the other colours I've got on my palette here are a little bit darker. I don't know if I can't really give you a much closer look at what I'm doing. I'm trying my best, but yeah, this is more the right colour for this, I think. You can see on the image there, it's starting to get more filled in and sort of look like a part of what was already there. And I want to say thank you to whoever it is that's actually watching for like taking the time out of your day to watch what I'm doing. I mean, obviously, I've only just started on YouTube, and it's not as if I've really got many followers or anything, but you have to start somewhere. And it is very nice to know that somebody is interested in what I'm saying, even if it's just like background noise while you're doing something else. I mean, I do that a lot. I listen to YouTube videos sometimes when I'm doing artwork. Of course, if I'm doing something like a live stream, I won't do that, but I'm starting to use some of the darker watercolors now. I think I might need a smaller brush. If I can find a smaller brush. I do have one somewhere here. I've got more of these. No, I think that in the watercolour tips, I think that might be the finest one I have. Annoying that. Let's see, is there anything? No, that's too. Never mind. Okay, I'm just going to have to carry on and try and use this one as best I can. It has got a reasonable kind of point on it, so I can get some fine lines. Just really trying to just make it fit in with what's already there. It is a bit off colour, I have to say. I'm not that sure if there's a lot I can do about that. I think the only thing I could do is add a little bit of, be a bit cheeky, add some splashes of like yellow ochre into the stag's coat. Like add some little, dab my finger over that. There we go. So he's got a bit more yellow ochre now. I am going to kind of try and dull the yellow down a little bit just by adding the other brown I've got on my palette here. So you can see that that does help a little bit. I mean, really, I didn't want to do too much to this stag because, I mean, he's already, like, he shows up really well as it is. Just going to use darker colours here to kind of darken up the eyes, the nostrils and things a little bit. Bits at the top of the antlers. Taking a little bit of blue, a little bit of brown, which can give you a slightly sort of greeny colour, but depends on how much of the colour you mix in, really. I mean, if brown is dominant, obviously you will still get something that looks more like brown anyway. So I think It's tempting to fiddle more with the stag, but I think I'm going to leave him be. So what really needs more attention is this here, which you can see, but it's not very visible. Only just barely see it. I mean, there's not actually an awful lot of difference in how visible it is as to whether the light's on or off. This light is fiddly as hell. It doesn't want it. It just doesn't want to work properly. I think there's a loose connection in there somewhere. Notice some of the other cork lights that I've got also are sort of a bit come and go as to whether they work or not. The thing is, this just starts to make things very yellow, and I'm not sure I really want things to be overly yellow when you're talking about like the colours on deer. Because I mean, they are obviously quite a warm tone, but not. I wonder if I might add a bit of red actually. I don't know if that would help. Because at the moment, it just looks like it's too much yellow ochre. I've like got a little bit of like a crimson colour in there. Which does show up. Yay, that's good. I think I just need to try to water that down a little bit. So it works well enough, but the colour's a little bit strong. Yeah, you know what? I mean, yellow ochre, that's like an okay colour to have as a predominant sort of coloration type thing for a deer. I mean, I will obviously try and thread more brown into it, like I've just done here. It's a very good brown for making him stand out a little bit more. You can kind of see that just from a little bit of fiddling there is already a difference in how visible everything is. Just try to water some of the colours down a bit. There we go. The thing is, the colorations on the napkins were quite sort of desaturated. Which is all well and good, but not what I'm after today. It can be desaturated, but do it elsewhere. Well, it's why it's made a very good background napkin, actually. The fact that the images on it don't really stand out that much, so you can kind of get away with just shredding it, and even if you still have animals and things visible, they don't sort of attract that much attention because they're quite pale. I think I want a bit more of a ready brown. There we go. I don't know if you heard that, but that was our cat we've got here, Tyson, who likes to jump up on the kitchen table. Tried to just sort of dissuade him from doing that and not had much luck with it. So yeah, he just does that now. Rather annoying. I mean, at one point we were trying to pick him up and take him off of the table. That seemed to encourage him to do it more, I guess because he was getting attention. Oh, speaking of, he's down here on the floor. But yeah, we can tell him to get down and he does do it, although if my fiance tries to tell him to do that, he kind of just ignores him, which is quite funny. Tyson tends to listen to me, but he doesn't listen to him all the time. I think I'm going to add a bit of blue. That is the darkest colour I have on this palette, so it's kind of the thing that's good for doing outlines and accentuating things. Question here really is, how much further do I need to take it? I have improved its visibility quite a lot now. I do feel some of the white spots on it are not showing up that well, so I think what I'd like to do is actually cover those, get some white watercolour, and quite surprised actually at how thick you can actually put white watercolour on, because otherwise you don't tend to see it all that much. Well, it comes up, as I say, more strongly than you think, which is quite handy because there we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. I'm kind of trying to go reasonably close to my laptop camera. I mean, I can actually push it all the way forwards like this, so then you have like quite a decent view of what I'm doing. I mean, I'm looking at what I'm doing upside down, which is not helpful, but considering all I'm really having to do is kind of paint over bits, it's not that bad. It's like paint by numbers, really. And there is my fiance. He's just got back from work.
Good ball of fluff.
Had a busy day, I think.
Oh. You know.
But yeah, I think I do want to do a little bit more on the head as well. I'd like to do an eye shine. Oh, yeah, we got a dot. We have got a dot. There we go, that's good.
I've got your recording.
But yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know if you watched the previous videos, but kind of get the idea of how you need to do this. It's fairly easy, because I mean, you don't have to do the step that I'm doing of actually going back over these and painting them to make them show up more. You can always find napkins and things that have a stronger coloration and design on them that will be a bit more opaque when you try and sort of decoupage them onto something. So, I mean, for the purposes of this video, the first thing I did was I covered the whole bottle with Mod Podge. Then I started layering the undercoat of napkins on that I've been using, which is, you'll be able to see the difference in the colour now actually when I bring it down, is these. So yeah, I use those and kind of cover everything I can get to basically. Then what I did was I covered the top of the bottle with Mod Podge as well, and wound some yellow thread, polyester, I believe, thread around it. And I tend to use a bit of Copydex at the beginning of the thread and the end and hold it in place to make sure it's glued down. Then I chose my main image that I wanted for the bottle, which was this stag, and then I just pasted the image on. I obviously decided, since there was already a deer on here, that this would do for my other side, and I think that's worked quite well. I've obviously added a bit of blue. I've added a bit of the background that was on the stag as well to other parts of the bottle, just to make sure you don't have just some white around the stag and have it nowhere else, because that doesn't tend to look very good. Well, I don't think it does anyway. I just think it looks more cohesive as a design. Cohesive, there you go, that's a big word. You know what I'm thinking? I'd like to have a bit of like pink inside these guys' ears. I'm gonna see if I can just do a little bit of, like, do it without overdoing it, which is so easy to do. I might, yeah, I think that's a bit too red. I think we have a colour that might work here. Yeah, this could work. There we go, a little bit of pink. And of course, inside is here as well. There we go. Just to add to like another colour in there. Oh. And I think I want to darken up this bit again as well, because that's not quite how I want it to be. Then I think I just need to get a bit of white. Okay, that's not going to show up, honestly. Yeah, that's the thing, because the paint is obviously, or the watercolour is already wet, so I can't really put anything else on top of it at the moment. But I think we were actually missing. I think to say I was going to finish up, but then I'm looking and I'm like, I think we're missing the end of a leg and hoof here. Let's have a look. Oh, I can see why. There's a rabbit in front of it, which I've actually covered up. Okay. So this is a case of adding something that was not previously there. Yes, and say, because I don't actually have any blacks in this, I kind of have to get to the closest approximation possible using dark blue and other colours, which is meant to be the better way of doing it anyway, but most people are lazy and just prefer to use black. I can't say I blame them, to be honest. Let's see. You know what? I never could leave well enough alone. Just had this feeling that I wanted a bit more, I don't know, a bit more definition around the eye. Something I do want to do is add some white on top of this, because there's white on the other ones. Also going up the sides of the leg. There we go. I think that fits in reasonably well. Witness the lights flickering there as they kind of decide whether or not they want to work. You know what? Today I actually went and changed some stuff around in the living room, And as I say, a fiance's just got in and he doesn't appear to have noticed. I mean, I've moved a whole shelf over to a different part of the room. And I've moved a chair as well. Don't think he's looked in there, to be fair, so otherwise I'm sure I'd have heard something by now. Yeah, sometimes it is a bit of a case of less is more. I never did believe in that. There we go. Right, okay, I think I'm going to say we are finished. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I have got 2 more bottles to do with this thread, but I'm only going to be posting those up on social media. I won't be doing live streams of them because it seems to strain my voice a bit doing these anyway. No doubt I will be live streaming again. I've got some wood slices to paint, so I'll probably live stream a few of those. And you'll just get me to see me actually paint something from scratch, not paint on top of something that is already there. I mean, I've obviously not done a bad job, but it's much easier to do when you've already got the things there to work with, whatever. But yes, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel, and you can go and you can follow me either on Facebook or on Instagram. Facebook is Summonart, Instagram is Summonart08, and I'm also on Dayflash, but not many people know about Dayflash. And unfortunately, I think that due to the fact not enough people used them as a sort of social media platform that's an alternative to Instagram, that they couldn't continue with what they were doing, and the company is closing down, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, because it was quite a good little photo and art sharing app. So, I mean, if you don't have it, it's worth a look, because you do get some lovely photographs on there. All right, well, I hope wherever you are, you have a nice day/evening. Obviously evening here, but yeah, it's been nice spending some time with you, and I'm now going to say goodbye.